So today we're going to talk about belief and pour into you all so that you can have that most important skill set. It's like a muscle. Faith is a muscle. So the more you work it, the more you pour into it, the stronger it'll get. So I'll let you take it away, Daniela.
Awesome. Okay, hello guys. What day is it today? Tuesday. Oh my goodness, I never know what day it is. Happy Tuesday. I'm so happy to have you all on this call. There's 27 of you guys on here ready to learn a little bit more about and really just like the understanding of the power of belief and the power of your mindset. If you guys know me personally, or if you guys are in my team chat, you guys know that I am a strong believer that your mindset is the key to unlocking absolutely all of your desires in life. And the power of belief is just, it really is a power. Like, we don't just say the power of belief, like, it's an actual power that we have, that we hold, that we need to tap into. And I really want to just start off this call with one of my favorite quotes. Type a one in the chat if you guys have heard this quote before. But the quote is, whether you tell yourself you can or you can't, you're right. Who has heard that quote? Whether you tell yourself you can or you can't, you're right. I think that that quote is one of the most powerful quotes I've ever heard. Number one, it lives rent free in my mind 24/7. It's something that I always remind myself that I have that power to change the outcome of any situation. I hold that power to be able to allow the things that I want to manifest, that I pray for, or whatever you want to call it, into my life. I have that power to choose yes or no. Okay. And I think that a lot of us forget that we have that and that we hold such a power. And all of us just think, like, oh, like it can't happen for me. Or, oh, like this is, I see it happening for her. Oh, she has so many followers. Oh, she has this supportive system. Oh, she has that. It's always like, she has it. I don't. It's so easy to think negatively about something. But I think that we forget that we hold that power to have that option. We hold the power to choose. We hold the power to create like what our life becomes and hold that power to decide, right? And I really just want to tell you a little bit of a story. First off, on this call, how many of you guys are like new to network marketing? Type of one if you guys are new in the industry, type of two if you've been here before. Like, is this a new business for you? Have you, like, I want to know how many of you guys, oh my goodness, a lot of ones. I love it. Awesome. Okay. We have some twos. Cool, cool. I think that no matter if you're a one or a two, one of the biggest struggles is mindset. One of the biggest struggles is belief. It doesn't matter like how long you've been in the industry. Like, it's our mindset at the end of the day, which is the most challenging thing. But I do want to tell you guys a little bit of a story back 6 years ago when I first started off in the industry, and why I'm so obsessed with mindset and why I'm so obsessed with the power that we hold. Because I'm a regular schmegular girl. Okay, I grew up with a loving family. My parents are together. I have an older brother. I have an older sister. I'm the baby of the family. And I've always been the black sheep. I always was the girl who just did things differently. I was always the girl who never really followed the rules and made my own. And I was always the one who just like went off the grid with things. Like, I was never really the one who was, what am I going to say? The one who was, looking for approval from my parents or trying to impress my parents or trying to like, I was never that girl. I was always like, well, whatever I want to do, I'm going to do. And if I believe I can do it, then I'm just going to go for it. Until it came to this industry though. And I'll be so honest with you. I slept on this industry for years. And the number one reason why I slept on it was because I was seeing all these girls. I think I kind of told you a little bit before, but I was seeing all these girls making this money online and I just didn't understand it. So I chalked it up to, well, that's BS. Or that's just like not going to happen for me. Or that's just something that like is taboo and there's no way these people are making money online. And really what it chalked down to was me not believing that I could get there, me not believing that I could do it, me not believing that it could happen for me, right? I grew up in such a traditional household in the sense where like, no, you go to school, You graduate, you go to college or university, you get a degree, you work a job, you work that job till you're 60, you retire, you settle down, you have a family, you get married. Like that's how I was raised, right? That's what I was expected of me growing up. Now, I went to college. I didn't graduate though. I always said I was never going to get married, and I always said I never wanted kids. How crazy is that? Okay, now I'm married with a kid in under 2 years. Okay, but my point is that I always went off the rails of what I was supposed to do and when I was supposed to do it. Okay. It was always some sort of fight with my parents that, oh, like, why are you going to quit this job and start lash extensions if, like, that's not a steady income? Like, why don't you just work for a paycheck is guaranteed? And I was like, no, I want to be my own boss. I want to do my own thing. I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. And I did it. And I opened up a lash studio in my parents' garage, and I turned it into a six-figure business. But then when COVID happened and everything was closed, I was looking at this online industry for years. I just never started it, never did it because I had that mindset that, well, like, it's not going to work out for me. And when COVID happened and online world was the only thing that, was kind of open, that's when I was like, okay, what do I have to lose? But let me tell you, I had nobody believing in me. I didn't even believe in me when I got started. I just got started because I was like, okay, well, we're gonna just try it. My mom, my dad, my sister, my two best friends at the time, my family, I had not one supporter. Not one supporter. My mom was like, why would you give up lashes? Or why would you, stop that to do this online thing? Like, how do you even make money there? And how does this even work? And like, and then 3 months would pass and they're like, you're working so hard. And like, what do you have to show for it? You're not bringing in any money. And I was like, leave me alone for 6 months. I just need to do whatever the hell my mentor told me. And she said, put my head down for 6 months and get to work. I didn't know what work in this industry looked like. I didn't know the outcome of what was going to happen 6 months later. All I knew is that I needed to learn and I needed to apply. I needed to learn and I needed to apply. And the belief, if I'm going to be honest, still wasn't 100% there. But what I did is I put my head down and I kept going. And what happened after that 6 month mark? That 6 month mark is when I hit my first $100,000 in the online space. That's when I hit my first six figures in the online space. And let me tell you, that's when my mom started believing in me. That's when my dad started realizing, oh, like, you can make money in this space. My sister still doesn't support me. My two best friends that I had cut me off. I lost my two best friends because I decided to do something for myself. But guess what? That belief started slowly trickling in as I started seeing some of the rewards of my success. And that's not to say that you should just rely on the money that you're coming in as your belief system, or the success as your belief system, as that way to be like, oh, I believe now. But what we need to realize is that the more you put your head down, the more you focus, the more you learn, the more you apply, the more that you block out all the outside noise and focus, you're powering that system. It's brewing in the background for your belief to start growing and sprouting and start spreading. Because not only do you start believing in yourself, but others around you start to believe in you too. Not that that matters, because I'm very big on, I don't care if you believe in me or not, I'm still going to do what I'm going to do. Okay. But it is sometimes encouraging, especially my mom, who didn't support me, seeing what was happening and, seeing me make an impact and then make an income, and seeing everything all that hard work that I was doing start growing. And that belief started growing. And to be honest, it started growing the second that I made an impact, not the second that I made an income. There's a difference. The second I made an impact, the second I got a message from somebody that was like, thank you for introducing this to me. Thank you for starting this business and sharing it with me. Thank you for sharing the fact that you can make an income doing things we're already doing. Thank you for sharing the product. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for doing that. The second I started hearing all these thank yous and all these people saying, like, like, if it wasn't for your bravery, if it wasn't for your courage, I probably never would have started either. That to me is power. Why? Because I'm impacting someone. And I haven't even impacted them financially yet, which I thought was the coolest part. But it all stemmed from that 3 seconds that I was like, okay, enter, like start, let's go. It just takes that little bit of belief, that little bit of power, that little bit of courage to start the business. And guess what? All 38 of you guys have done that. All 38 of you guys have already done the hardest step that there is, which is getting started, which is doing something that you've never done before, which is immersing yourself into probably one of the scariest things, okay? Type in two in the chat if you have challenged yourself in ways that you are scared of in this industry. Whether it's going live, being on stories, like you're like, there's a lot of things in this industry that scare the living crap out of me, okay? Going live, talking on my stories, making reels, having to start conversations with strangers, like this was all something that I was terrified of. Terrified. But the hardest decision of that was starting. Because all of this, as you practice, as you go, as you learn, it becomes so much easier. It's just like anything else in life. Practice makes perfect, right? And what does that do when we start growing in this industry? What does that do when we start moving forward, when we keep our head down, when we learn, apply, learn, apply? It just makes us believe a little bit more. It makes our mindset so much stronger because when we're learning from people like Kat. We're learning from people like Adriana. We're learning from people like Christy, like Isabella, like Bianca, like Catherine, that have had success in this industry that if they can do it, why can't we do it? Right? There's no difference between you and somebody who's making 6 figures. We're all human, we're all the same people, we all have the same, qualities, but a lot of us just struggle with that belief and that mindset. But being in rooms filled with people that have that belief and that mindset already increases your belief and mindset without you even knowing, because you're surrounding yourself with people that have what you want, because you're surrounding yourself with people who speak life into themselves, who speak life into others, who are constantly pouring in. And we build this sense of belief and power without even like knowing it, right? Which is one version of mindset and belief. Another version is actively working on that, because inactively working on it are things like, hopping on trainings and just talking to people that you don't even know, like that it's empowering you. It's kind of just like, by default almost. But then reading books, pouring into yourself, listening to podcasts, studying the industry, understanding the power of your subconscious mind versus conscious mind. Are you a growth mindset or are you a fixed mindset? Learning things like that just increase your power so much more. And I don't know if you guys have ever read that book, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Eckhart Tolle. It's one of my absolute favorites. I do highly recommend it. Write that down, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Eckhart Tolle. It's an insane book. There's that. I have so many. Oh my goodness, this is another one I'm going to share with you guys. This book has rewritten the way that I think about a lot of things, especially postpartum. But it's called Don't Believe Everything You Think. Why Your Thinking is the Beginning and End of All Suffering. This book is so powerful. It's by Joseph Nguyen, Nguyen. I never know how to say his name right. But these are things that we're consciously doing to increase our mindset, right? Reading books, investing in ourselves, hanging around like people that you know are positive, that you know have a strong belief system, like that will rub off on you, that will grow with you. And it's so important to have those qualities in this industry. Why? Because without those qualities, that's the foundation of your business. Without that, nothing is going to work. And I'm a strong believer of that. If you have a very poor mindset, if you have a very poor attitude, if you have a very poor belief level in yourself, why is anyone else going to trust you? Why is anyone else going to believe that this is the right decision? Why is anyone else going to believe that like it can happen for them if you don't emanate that, if you don't show that, if you don't radiate that, right? Like I joined this industry because look at Christy. Christy, I've known for her for 6, 7 years almost. She is like the most like zen, positive, humble queen, and I love her energy. I was like, I want that. I want that type of friendship. I want that type of energy. I want that type of belief system, right? But if she was like a negative person and not humble and blah blah blah, I wouldn't have started the business. Not with her, right? So if you're questioning your belief system, if you're like, why isn't my business maybe, doing what I wanted to do? Why am I not growing? Why am I not getting the customer sale? Why am I not getting the BIs? It really does all come down to here. Everything that you're feeding yourself is something that needs to be intentional, right? I think that waking up and having like a good morning routine, waking up and having like a positive outlook is one of the best things that you can possibly do. How many of you guys have a morning routine? Type A333 in the chat. I know that morning routines are very, taboo. Like some people are like, oh, I just go with the flow. Some people have a strict morning routine. I'm a big believer in saying 3 things that you're grateful for the second that you open your eyes. That's something that I highly practice, even if you don't say it out loud. But, wake up, say, I'm grateful for this day. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for the food in my fridge. The next day, I'm grateful that I have the ability to design my life. I'm grateful that I have the ability to move to my dream home. I'm grateful that I have a loving husband. Like so many things that we could be grateful for, but it's so easy to not say those things out loud. But I'm a strong believer that just voicing positivity the second you wake up in the morning, it changes your whole entire attitude for the day. Instead of waking up saying, oh, I'm so tired. Oh, I didn't sleep last night. Oh, like blah, 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 blah. Right? It's just those little tiny switches really do make or break your day. Right? So having a morning routine, my morning routine, waking up and saying 3 things that I'm grateful for every single day. I do not look at my phone for the first hour. I don't want to see nothing on my phone. I want to go outside. I want to touch grass. I want to make my morning coffee. I want to chill in the sun. Like, I don't want to be in technology. No, that's just me though. Right. And I've noticed that those are the things that keep me positive, that keep my belief system high because I'm always like, the second I wake up, I pour into me. Pouring, 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 pouring. Because the rest of the day, I'm pouring into other people. But I got to make sure that I always fill my cup. Right? And yes, another thing that you could do is write in your daily gratitude journal, write down the things that you're grateful for. I don't know if any of you guys have a manifesto. I know some of my team is on here. And we did this actually at the beginning of the year. I framed it and I put it on my desk. I read this every morning as well. Okay. So far, let's see. One of the things came true. I still have 2 more. I'm very close to another one, but I read this every single day. And this just reminds me what I'm doing here, what my purpose is, why I work so hard, why some days it feels like nothing's working. And other days it feels like I'm on top of the world. I always read that and I remind myself that even through my struggles, even on my down days, even though there's people out there that don't believe in me, even though things can get hard sometimes, I know why I'm here, what I'm doing it for, and why I need to keep going. I think it's so important to know those things Not just understand them, not just write them down, but like know deep in your core why you're here. And I think that the power of believing in what you have at your fingertips, the power of believing in yourself, the power of knowing that you have the opportunity to change the outcome of your life is something that we take so for granted and something that I feel like we think is so small, but it's really huge if you tap into it. So I just wanted to share a little bit about my story for you guys. And I know a lot of you, that's not even really my whole story, but a lot of you guys don't really know me personally, but I've gone through so many challenges, so many struggles, so much betrayal, like to be where I am. And I'm a strong believer that everything happens for a reason. I'm a strong believer that wherever you are in this current moment, you're here at the right time. Even if something is challenging and tough for you, it might be something you need to grow through in order to become stronger, in order to duplicate your belief system in yourself, in order to strengthen your mind. So, this is just my reminder to you guys that no matter where you're at in your life, no matter what is going on in your business, no matter what's going on in your personal life, everything does happen for a reason, even if we can't see it right now or understand it right now. But just know that you got you and we got you. You're in a community that loves you, a community that supports you. You're surrounded by women that are inspiring, women that want to pour into you. You're surrounded by so much greatness and goodness that should be something that you constantly remind yourself, because a lot of people don't have that. A lot of people want this. A lot of people wish they had this. And what a blessing is it that we not only have it, but we have the ability to share it. I think it's so powerful that myself, that Ashley, that I'm trying to look at the chat right now, that Allie, that Gladys, that Katie, that Kayla, that all of you guys on this call hold that power in your hand. That you can share goodness, kindness, gratefulness, all these beautiful things that the community holds and help someone make an income at the same time. So whenever you feel like there's a lack of belief, just remember the things that you do have. Um, and I always find that it helps to write them down so that you can actually not only just think of them, but you can visually see them to remind yourself of what you have. And then that way, whenever you have those hardships, you just know why you're here and why to keep going. And it's such a blessing. But that's really what I wanted to share. I hope that that impacted you guys in one way or another and kind of like, stuck in your mind to keep going, keep believing, and keep pouring into yourself. I love you. I'm going to pass it off to Catherine, where you already know she is the queen, going to pour so much more love and light into you guys. So, my girl, take it away.
That was so good, Daniela. Drop a 10 in the chat if you believe in yourself so much more after that amazing story, after her testimony. It's just so beautiful to hear like how other people believed in themselves and how they got started and to where they are right now. And I want you all to believe that for yourself too. And sometimes in the beginning, we don't, or all of us, most of the time in the beginning, we don't have that belief for ourselves. So it's important that you borrow the belief of other people until you do have it for yourself. And every woman that you see, every girl that you see who's thriving in this business, she isn't special. I mean, we're all special, but she doesn't have something that you don't have. She simply just decided to believe before she had results. And this training is here to remind you that becoming her isn't someone that you're becoming. She's already inside of you, and she's waiting for permission from you to rise up out of you. So, every single woman that you see succeeding in this business, they didn't start with confidence. They started with belief and just a little mustard seed of it, right? If the Bible says, or the Bible does say, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to a mountain, move from here to there, and it will move. So, on this training, we really just want you to hold on to that you don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to have enough faith to just take one more step, to just do, like, I have faith that if I do one more reach out, it might be the person that's going to change my whole business, and I could change their life by reaching out to them. If I do one more event, if I do one more live, if I do one more training call, and I believe that it will be that one more move that will change everything for all of you. So I'm so glad you're all here. This call is so special because it's not about strategy, it's not about systems, it's not about scripts, it's about belief. It's about her and the woman that's inside of you that God has already called to rise. So I just want you guys to let that sink in. The faith that you need to just take one more step is really all you need to really get through every single success that you have seen people achieve here in pharmacy, whether it's getting to 15% bonus level, director, golden, emerald, boss director, through all of the ranks in this compensation plan. It just takes that one more step in faith for you to really like change the trajectory of your whole entire life. So before we continue on with this training, I want you all to just close your eyes. If you're driving, don't close your eyes, but close your eyes. And I want you to picture the woman that you're becoming, the one who's confident, the one who's consistent, the one that's leading other women with peace and purpose. I want you to picture like what is she wearing? When she shows up to convention, what is she wearing? What does her team look like? How does she work every day? What does her office look like? Because I know all of you are gonna have the cutest offices when you're at like Golden Director, Emerald Director, when you're at those higher ranks. I know you're all gonna be showing up to the events in like the cutest outfits. So I want you to picture that woman that you are becoming in this industry and in her society. Because that version of you, she's already inside of you. And she's she's not waiting for permission, actually. She's waiting for belief. That woman inside of you is waiting for you to believe in her. So I want you to really let that sink in. You can open your eyes, but that girl that you pictured, that woman that you pictured for that moment, that's the person I want you to think of every single time you're not believing in yourself. Something that Christy shared that she does is she puts a picture of the younger version of herself like on her vanity mirror. And like that girl that God has called to rise up, she's waiting for you to not give her permission, but to give her some belief that she can become her. So let's talk about understanding like what belief is. Belief is something that's built. It's not something that's just born within you. None of us woke up one day saying, I'm confident, I'm ready, I'm going to be boss director. I know I'm going to succeed. It's something that we build layer by layer by layer. So when I first started in this industry, I was never someone that people like looked at and was like, "Oh, she's going to be successful." I was always the girl that was undervalued, underappreciated. Like I was always the one swept under the rug. So if everyone else is sweeping me under the rug, if everyone else is undervaluing me or underestimating what I can achieve, then who's going to believe in me? If no one else is believing in me, I have to be the one that's going to believe in me. And all of you need to have that for yourself because if no one else is believing in you, are you going to join everyone else? And that girl inside of you that's being called to rise is just going to be neglected because you're going to join in on everyone else that doesn't believe in you. No, if anyone's gonna believe in you, it needs to be you. And I use Kanye West as an example for these belief trainings all of the time. Because if you watch the Kanye West documentary, I think it was on Netflix, I'm not sure if it's still there. Some people interview him in his like younger days before he's become the music mogul that he's become today. But people interview him and they ask him, "Do you really think you're going to become something?" He's like, "I know I'm going to become something." and no one believed in him, but that didn't matter because he believed in him. And the power of his belief in himself took him to being the music mogul that he is today. Whether you like who he is in this day or not, you can't deny that Kanye West has made his mark in the music industry. All of us can name a song by Kanye West and think of a moment in our life that that song reminds us of. He's a mogul. And it's because of the belief that he had in himself. So there's different layers to belief when it comes to this business. First, you believe in the products because you've seen how they work. You like the way the L-carnitine makes you skinny. You like how the Aloe Glow cleans your gut. You like how the mascara looks on your eyelashes. You love the lip gloss. There's a product that you believe in because you've seen how the product has worked. Or maybe you joined because you saw someone post their before and after. So you saw that that product worked, so you believed in the product. Then you believe in the company. You see an opportunity call, you see an info call, you see someone's success story, you see the company, Emre or Sanan share like a Pharmacity video. So you start to believe in the company and then you see the company's vision. After you believe in the company, you believe in the systems that we train you because you've seen it duplicate, right? We do a recruitment training, or we do an info call, you see people share, the info call's so good, I enrolled a business partner, and you see that the system duplicates. So you see first you believe in the products, then you believe in the company, then you believe in the system. But the last and the most hardest part, and it's also the most powerful layer, is the belief in yourself. That's where everything changes. The belief in yourself. So all of you believe in the products, or you wouldn't have hopped on this call. All of you believe in pharmacy, or you wouldn't be taking your time on a Tuesday afternoon to learn about the business. You believe in the systems, or you wouldn't be on this training. But do you believe in you? Do you believe that Rosa can go to Turkey? Do you believe that Ashley is going to go to earn the golden trip? Do you believe that you are going to get a $20,000 bonus with pharmacy? Or do you only believe that Kat can do it? Or do you only believe that Christy can do it? Do you believe that you can go through every single rank in pharmacy? Or do you only believe that's something for Isa or Alejandra? The most powerful layer to all of this is the belief that you have for you. The belief that you have that Isa did it, so I can do it too. So mustard seed, it looks small. It looks insignificant. If I want you all to like Google, what does a mustard seed look like? It's really tiny. Like it's so small that it looks insignificant, but it's alive inside. Its roots, it grows deep before it even grows tall, just like the bamboo tree. It grows deep before it grows tall. And that's all of us right now. We might not see the full harvest yet, but your roots are forming. You have to dig your roots. The redwood trees in California, those things are huge. And I don't, do you guys know of the redwood trees? Drop a 10 in the chat if you're familiar. Drop a 5 if you have no idea what I'm talking about. Okay, so these redwood trees, they're big, massive trees. If you look at them, they've probably been around for over 100 years. And they're big, 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 like skyscraper big. And these trees are so big because they dig their roots deep, but they don't just dig deep, they connect to one another. So the roots grow deep and then they're intertwined with the other trees and they feed off of each other. And then they grow tall together. They grow their roots deep, they connect, and then they grow up. And that's what I want our team to be. I want us to grow our roots deep. I want us to all connect so that we can grow massive. That should be your belief of what it is to be part of her society. Grow deep, connect. We cling on to each other and we grow off one another to grow tall. So, with the mustard seed, you might not see the full harvest when you're looking at the seed, but your roots are forming. And every live that you show up for, every reel that you post, every time you push through self-doubt, that's your faith taking root. If your belief feels small today, that's okay. You don't need massive faith to move a mountain. You just need a mustard seed. And until yours grows, you can cling on to me and you can borrow mine. Until yours grows, you can cling on to Adriana and borrow hers. You can cling on to Daniela. You can cling on to Christy, to Catherine. You can cling on to any of your sideline sisters and borrow ours. Borrow your teams until you have your own. That's what her society is. A space where we can help each other rise like the redwood trees and a space where belief multiplies. So if your belief feels small, I want you to do your research on people in this business that are where you want to be and where you would like to go in this business. Tell other people's success stories until you can create your own success story. Crave the results of what this business can do. So I want you all to drop in the chat, what's one thing that you already have that proves that you're capable? Maybe it's your story, maybe it's your courage, your resilience, your faith, whatever comes to mind, just write it. Maybe you did a live today, maybe you hosted an event yesterday. Daniela's past, Heller's faith, Monica's story, Ali filmed some content. I love it. I love it. Ashley's dad, ditto sister, God bless you. All right. And as we're on understanding belief, a big part of having a strong belief system, and Daniela like touched on this, and I was like, oh, I have to talk about your attitude. The power of your attitude. Your attitude doesn't cost a thing, but it changes everything. John Maxwell says that your attitude can be your best friend or your worst enemy. Your attitude is the paintbrush of your mind. It colors how you see everything. And I've worked so hard on my attitude over the last 5 years that I go back to work and I see the things that people complain about or how upset they get over like a dessert spoon or how upset they get if someone doesn't tip them 20%. But I have this attitude of like, I know it's gonna come back around. And like as long as I could provide them a good experience, maybe they couldn't have afforded to tip 20% or 25%, but it's going to come back around and someone else is going to give me like a 50% tip. It happens all the time. And it's like the attitude that you have towards everything, it will change everything. Like sometimes I'll get in the car with people and the road rage that I see some people have, I'm like, I just put on another worship song. My attitude is I have another song to worship to. Like I see people cursing out grandmas on the road. I'm like, friend. So in business, attitude, it's your invisible advantage. It's what people feel before they even hear what you say. And the truth is, two people can go through the same exact thing and walk away with completely different outcomes because of their attitude. Two people can go to the same convention. One can leave complaining about everything whatever happened at the convention and complain about it. Another person can leave and be like, "Wow, I'm so motivated. I'm totally gonna go to the Maldives. I'm gonna make $1 million a month in this business, just like Alejandra." Your attitude is your invisible advantage. I'm gonna say it again. It's what people feel before they even hear what you say. You can have the same products, the same compensation plan, the same opportunity as thousands of other people, but the way you carry yourself is what's going to set you apart. A woman with a good attitude walks into the room and the energy changes. She doesn't complain about what's not working. She looks for how she can make it work. The best part about the power of your attitude is that a good attitude is free. That's why it blows my mind sometimes. Like it's free to have a good attitude. And you feel better by having a good attitude and being optimistic. You don't have to earn it. You don't have to buy it. You don't have to wait for perfect circumstances to have it. You choose it every single day. And John Maxwell teaches that the greatest day in your life is the day that you realize you are responsible for your attitude. That means nobody else, not your results, not your rank, not your rank that you hit or you miss, not your past. None of that gets to decide how you show up. You do. A good attitude attracts good people. A good attitude attracts good opportunities. A good attitude attracts good momentum. And when challenges come, because they will, and you can't put a challenge into your calendar, you don't get to choose when they come. They arrive on their own schedule. Your attitude gets to become the anchor that keeps you steady instead of sinking. So I want to remind you guys today, protect your attitude like it's your crown. Protect your attitude like it's your faith. Because a good attitude is a solid foundation for big faith, for crazy faith. When your attitude is right, you see possibility instead of problems. You bring light into spaces that feel heavy, and you become her, the woman who rises, regardless of the current circumstance that you're in. So the next time something doesn't go your way, or the next time you miss a rank, because you will, it happens to all of us. Stop and ask yourself, what would happen if I just chose a better attitude right now? Because it might not change the situation, but it will absolutely change you. And when you change, everything starts to follow that. So becoming her, it isn't about chasing rank or perfection. It's about walking by faith, walking by belief, not by sight. I got to go to Turkey. I got to do the things that pharmacy offers that you guys see, that all of you have the opportunity to earn, not because I saw that it was going to happen to me. I believed in it before it happened. That's your superpower, to have faith, a good attitude, and to believe in it before it happens. Believe you can get the check before you get the check. Becoming her is not a title, it's a testimony. And when you become her, that her doesn't wait for motivation. She moves because she has a mission. We all have a mission, and we don't compare, we create. Whenever you find yourself in comparison, a great way to like shift into a good attitude and into having belief in yourself is to stop in that moment of comparison, because we all do it. Sometimes we can't control our first thought, but we can control the second one. So if that comparison pops into your mind, be like, okay, how can I shift this comparison into creating? How can I go and create something? If you're comparing a reel or a paycheck or a story, stop and then create something. The gap between where you are and where you want to be is always going to be bridged by belief. And you won't always see the harvest right away, but plant the seeds anyway. The person, the woman that's becoming her, the woman that's getting to boss, the woman that's gonna go to Turkey, that's gonna go to Maldives, that's gonna go on the Europe trip, they plant seeds anyway. They post when it's quiet. They post when there's no enrollments. They post when no one's reaching out to them. They show up when no one's watching. And they speak to the woman that she's becoming even before she feels like she's her. So every setback that you've had, that was soil. Every no, that was pruning. Every delay was preparation. And God is growing something within each and every single one of us, even when we feel unseen. So whenever I start to feel like emotional of like I'm not where I want to be, because all of us wanted whatever we are aiming for to happen yesterday, right? Like I wanted to be Emerald Director yesterday. I wanted to hit boss last year. Like I wanted, everyone wants what they're aiming for to happen yesterday. Everybody. But whenever I start to feel emotional, I just strike the E, that first E, and I just focus on motion. I'm like, take the E out of emotion and focus on the motions. Like, what motion can I put in right now that will get me out of this negative emotion so that I can have a good motion, emotion. So, where we turn faith into movement is, how do I say this? Okay, faith turns into movement because faith without works is dead. Right? We can have all the faith, we can have all the belief, but it's biblical that faith without work is dead. You don't build confidence by waiting until you're ready. You build it by doing it scared. Every time you move, your faith grows. Every time you take action and host an event that you've been so scared to host, that you think no one's going to show up to, and I've hosted events that no one shows up to. I got the cutest content and people wanted to come to the next one because they saw that I hosted something and they don't know no one showed up. But every time that you move, every time you strike the E in emotion and put it into motion and you move, your faith starts to grow. So action will always breed clarity, and clarity will breed confidence, and confidence breeds belief. Action breeds clarity, clarity breeds confidence, and confidence breeds belief. So even the small things, sending a message, showing up on a call, posting about your favorite product, those are all mustard seed moments where you're planting belief every single time you take action. And you're planting belief in the people that are watching you. So believing in yourself, it's a noble thing to do because other people around you will start to believe in themselves if they see that you're believing in you. If you don't believe in you, if you don't believe you can go to Turkey, like if I didn't believe I could go to Turkey and if I could go to the Maldives, why would Ashley believe she can go to Turkey and the Maldives? If I didn't see that Issa believed that she could earn $1 million a month, why would I believe that I could earn $1 million a month? Right? So you have to, if you can't believe in you for you, believe in her for her. Remember that God, He doesn't require perfection, He honors persistence. He celebrates progress, not perfection. The small steps matter just as much as the big ones. So I want you to think of one small win that's happened in this last week. Maybe you talked to someone new. Maybe you showed up even when you didn't feel like it. Yesterday, you guys, I'm gonna be so honest with you. On Sunday night, I had the worst day at work. I cried myself to sleep. I had such a bad day at work. And I woke up the next morning. I was like, I'm gonna tell my team that I'm not feeling good today, and I'm just gonna take an off day. I'm not gonna post anything. I'm not gonna host any calls. I'm just gonna stay at home and lay down with my cat. And then I was like, okay, I've done 5 years of personal development. I know that when I feel this way, it is so important that I show up anyway, because it's so easy for me to show up when everything's going great, when I'm in a good mood, when I didn't have a bad day at work. It's easy, anyone can show up on the good days, but what will set me apart is I show up on this day when I wanted to cancel everything. And we had such a great team call yesterday. I got off the team call. I felt so good. I booked a Pilates class. I'm like, I'm so glad that I showed up. And it's in those moments where you show up for yourself to get yourself out of those emotions. I took motion instead of staying in the emotion. Does that make sense? So you get to believe in yourself when you take that action and get out of the emotion, when you go and move with motion instead of sticking into the emotion. So I want you to leave with a challenge. I have 3 faith-building actions for you this week. First one is share a story about your growth or a product that you love, even if you feel nervous. Just share a story about your growth, how you believe in yourself a little more, how you're a little more confident to talk on your story and you never were before. And then I want you to speak belief onto yourself. Speak faith over your business every single day. Lord, bring me closer to the people that are praying for something for this. Lord, I know that you'll give me the confidence to share this with the people that you put my way. My small steps lead to big results. Speak life over yourself. And then reach out to one person on this team and encourage her. Be the belief that someone else borrows. You can message Izzy and tell her, girl, I have been loving your content. I've seen you on every single team call. I'm so grateful for you. You help me show up whenever I see you on the calls. Like message someone and encourage them and be that borrowed belief for them. So remember that becoming her isn't about becoming someone new. It's remembering who God already called you to be. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need faith that is the size of a mustard seed and the courage to take one more step. And if you don't have that faith in yourself, dig deep and connect to one of us so that we can all grow up together. But I think Adriana has a little we always just talk too much, but
How is anyone supposed to follow after that? Like both you and Daniela, it just so hitting my heart, like for sure. And there's so much that I resonated with both of you, things that you're both saying. Yeah, Christy saying so good. You know, you guys are usually used to me like recharge, let's go for it, like all the things. But I've been so heavy in my feels today. Like Chris even messaged me asking, "Are you getting your period?" I was like, no, I just feel so grateful. I'm just feeling so grateful. Like my husband this morning, I heard our child care help. She comes 2 times a week, which that's a blessing. I heard her ask him, "What'd you do this weekend?" And he's like, "I don't remember, but it must have been good because I'm happy." Like that just made me want to cry. The fact that he's so happy and like life is just so beautiful, you guys. But I really want to help pour some belief into all of you because it's as all of our sisters are saying, that is where it all begins. And you do just really need to dig deep into a moment in your life where you felt like you did not have that belief, but you got through it. And you're like, I don't know how many of you look back at your past when you were young and you're like, how did I even do that? Like, that was just insane, you know? Like, I could never do that now, you know? But I really just want to pour some belief in some common myths I feel that maybe we all experience sometimes about this business in specific. You know, I really loved how Daniela said that her mentor told her to like dig deep for 6 months, like give it your all for 6 months. And when it comes to recruits and customer purchases, sometimes we might have that belief of like, where are they? Like, I'm putting in the work, I'm doing the content, I'm on the calls. Like, where are my people? Like, why aren't they getting started? Like, I go through that too. All of us go through that. Kat so vulnerably shared a few months back, she didn't have any enrollments, you know, and she's a leader. And I was so grateful she shared that because it shows that no matter what level we're at, we all go through that feeling. And I want to pour some belief into you that the ones that I've helped get started this month, uh, one was from January who got started before and was ready to recommit. Another one I've known for a year now, and we did the pageant together and she just got started. Like, why now? Like, why now? Like, why didn't you get started when I was talking to you about it before? Or the other girl, we've been friends since my son was in school and she's been following me. You know, I really want to pour belief that reminding you that the effort that you put in today, science really, or statistics has shown pays off in about 9 weeks time. So the effort that you're putting in, you really need to believe that it compounds over time. And we all agreed yesterday, the girls that were at headquarters, people might not like your content, they might not comment on your content, but they're watching. Like, people are watching. And that's why it's so important to believe in yourself that if you are consistent, it's going to compound. And conversations you had back in January, they might be ready for harvest now, or maybe in a year from now, but it's coming, you know. And so that's one, is like just really believing that success takes time. Anything worth having is up a hill, and the only way we fail is if we give up. But if every day we're putting one foot forward, you're building that belief within yourself, you're compounding that effort, and it will show up. Like that's biblical. Like, the hard work prospers, right? The second one, I don't know about any of you, maybe put a 4 in the chat. It's not one that I like to, like, you know, all of us agree with, but I know for myself, and I called up I called Kat when I was having this thought. I was crying to her. I'm telling the truth. I was like, Kat, you know, sometimes I just feel like, you know, will I ever be like Issa, or like, will I ever make $30,000 a month? Will I ever make $40,000 a month? You know, like, how many of you have ever thought, like, is that actually ever going to be me? I say, look at her team. Like, am I ever going to have that big of a team? Like, I don't even know that many people. Like, how am I going to do that? You know, but she really did pour the belief back in me, which I want to pour back in all of you and remind you all, like, the science of it all, the true facts is pharmacy is so new that when we feel like we don't have enough people, it's because we're not getting out of our own bubble. And you have to remember how many people are in the world and how many people haven't seen our content or we haven't had a conversation with. Like, there are so many people, and pharmacy's only been in America for 4 years, Canada only 3 years. Like, we haven't even gone viral yet. We haven't even hit the top of the charts. Like, I had to really flip my mind and be like, wow, what a blessing it is to know about this vehicle right here, right now. Because imagine where we're going to be in a year. Imagine where we're going to be in 2 years. Imagine where we're going to be in 5 years. You know, like we are so blessed. This company hasn't even gone viral yet. And we do have the potential to become the Issa, the 30,000, the 40,000, the $1 million a month. Like, we're so new as a company, and let alone as a team. Her Society was only birthed like 3 weeks ago, you know? So I really want you to believe in yourself that it is possible. And we are seeing people. Another belief for me was, what I typically see people come from other companies and they come in here, they're already at this big rank. You know, is it really possible to like develop myself into this leader that's making that type of money? But I'm having to borrow the stories and see with my own eyes. Like, Adela never sold a thing in her life. She's now in Turkey with us. You know, girls that I've seen now, Christy and I were agreeing yesterday. Honestly, I love getting girls started who have never done this before, because they have no misconceptions and they're just so hungry and so on fire and just willing to get out there and just have excitement. You know, so we got to bring back that first time excitement and borrow the belief that people are developing themselves into bronze, golden, platinum. You know, like, people are building themselves in there. So you need to just see yourself as a big journey that you're taking. It's not an overnight, it's a consistent compounded effort that you're on the journey of becoming. You are developing yourself into, and it is paying off. Like Kat said, that every little thing that you do, it really is. And the last thing that I really want, two things. One, what we were talking about when Kat said, like, you know, we have to really flip our mind around our circumstance if we're speaking negatively about ourselves. How many of you have heard about Joe Dispenza before? I don't know if he's like the one that really created this, but he really brought it big. But it's called the observer effect. And this has the potential to change all of your lives right now if you really grasp this concept. It's huge. You know how they say, you know, you are your thoughts, and how Daniela opened with that. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you are right? You are your thoughts. But there's another way to think about it. You are your thoughts, but you're not just your thoughts. You need to become and have the awareness to be the observer of your thoughts. How Kat said, the first thought that you have, you might not be in control about it. It might be like, you know, I'm so tired, right? Or whatever. It's like the negative thought that comes in. Or, oh my gosh, I haven't had anybody get started in a month. Like, is this business really for me? You know, you need to not only just have the thought, but you need to have the conscious awareness to take yourself almost like a third party, like as if you're like floating above yourself and you're observing the thought. Don't agree with every single thought that you have. And as women, that's like super hard to do because we're very emotional, right? But you really need to have the conscious awareness to take yourself out and observe the thought that you're having, have an inner dialogue with yourself and see, is that actually true? Like, I'm never going to make this type of money. I'm never going to hit director. Like, hold on, that's not the truth. That's the truth if you allow it to become the truth. If that's the truth, if you're feeding it to yourself and you're believing in that. But if you take yourself out and you're observing your thought and you're like, I feel in this moment, like, I feel like I'm never going to become a director. Take yourself out. You're like, Is that actually true? Will I actually never become a director? Well, no, I'm just having a hard time right now. Well, am I really not going to become a director? No, I've seen other people do it before. You really need to take yourself out of your thoughts, observe your thoughts, dissect your thoughts, and choose your thoughts. That's the most beautiful thing that we have as humans, of being what we feel is the most intelligent species on the planet. I put it in parentheses because maybe that's a prideful thought and ignorant thought to have as a whole. However, that is such a gift that we have, is that we can choose our thoughts. And every day needs to be an active choice of the thoughts and belief we're going to have. And I'm going to leave you with this. I don't know how many of you are on here, are Christian, or you come onto our Bible studies, but I'll tell you what really puts me into a positive mind when, like, I have those thoughts too, guys. Like, I do. How Daniela said, when she wakes up in the morning and she thinks of 3 things that she's really grateful for every morning. No matter what goes on in my day, I pray every morning and I pray every night. And I thank God for my life. Like, last night, I was so exhausted after going to headquarters, and then I went to the gym, and wow, what a blessing that I get to be exhausted from helping show the dream and the vision to a bunch of girls who've never done this before. Like, what a blessing it is that I have headquarters in my backyard and I can do this for these girls. Like, what a blessing. So first of all, I had to take myself out of my exhaustion and choose the thought of what it really is, which it is a blessing. And second, when really just thank you, Lord, so much for my life. Thank you for my health. Thank you for my children. Thank you for my husband. Thank you for my home that I live in. Like, I'm exhausted, but I love coming home. If you do make an active choice to pray every morning and just give gratitude, like true gratitude, it will change your whole day, no matter what speed you feel like you're building at, no matter what valley you feel like you're going through in the moment. And I just, what really does it for me is when I really think about Jesus, and I really think he literally died for us. And I thank you so much that no matter what I feel like I've done in my life, you are giving me the opportunity to repent and to go to have eternal life. Thank you. Whole day's changed. Doesn't matter what comes at me. I think the biggest thing that really changed for me was when I was told, how people tell you you're always a sinner, you're a sinner, you're a sinner. That can be deep and heavy and really hard to carry. But when we're reminded, we are holy, we're not sinners, we are holy. We are holy because he is holy. We are holy people that occasionally sin. We're not sinners. We're not bad people. We have good things coming to us. So reminding yourselves to choose your thoughts, to be the observer of your thoughts, to give so much gratitude to everything that you do have, to believe that every single compounded effort is building you up to where you are going, to know that if you're not where you're at right now, it's because you are being chiseled to the person that can receive those things. Imagine you are becoming such a beautiful sculpture of what the Lord has designed you to be. If you're not where you're at, it's because he's chipping away. He's molding you into that version of you. What a blessing it is that we don't have everything that we want to have right now, because who knows who we would be. Maybe we'd have pride. Maybe we wouldn't strive to be bigger, better things than ourselves. Thank God for the hardships that we have right now, because we're being molded into the most beautiful design if we don't resist it and we lean into it and we choose our thoughts and we have gratitude. And every day we just put one foot forward in front of the other, because we believe that good things are coming to us. No matter what the result is, it's all good things. Everything is a good thing. I'll pass it back to you, Kat. Thanks, fam.
Amen. I think everyone's in their feels after that.
I'm so in my feels, and I'm not getting my period. I'm just so grateful.
We're all in our feels. You could just feel Adriana's heart in sharing that. Thank you so much, Adriana, for being a little special guest today. So exciting. But you guys really, I think, while Adriana was speaking, last thing, I'm not going to take up to any more time. In your head, you are always going to make up a story. And in my early network marketing days, if you guys have not tapped into your virtual upline, his podcast, I feel like I have a PhD in your virtual upline. But he taught me so much about network marketing and he gave me a lot of my belief that I built for myself. And if you look at that video I posted in her society last week of me like getting ready in my first early days, like no one would have looked at that and said, yeah, that girl's gonna make $700,000 in that industry. No, no one would have. But I showed up because I believed that I was going to, and it was because of your virtual upline. And he shared the red light, green light theory, and it changed how I thought about everything in my business. So whenever a thought comes to mind in this business, whenever you're gonna take action in this business, a thought will come to mind, right? And it's gonna be a thought that you make up. So let's say you reach out to someone and they didn't message you back. You're gonna have two thoughts. One's gonna be, oh my gosh, I'm annoying them. They don't want to do this business with me. I'm so embarrassed that I even messaged them. The other thought is going to be, they're just really busy. They probably didn't see the message. Let me message them again to make sure that they saw the message because I don't want them to miss out on what I have to offer. The first thought is going to be a red light thought. The good thought is going to be a green light thought. And in your mind, you're always going to make something up. They're both a made up thought. You don't know which one is true. But if you're going to make up a thought, why not make it a good one? Why not make it the green light, right? We don't always have to go to the red light thought. So whenever you take action in your business, always have a green light thought instead of the red light thought. And if you guys want, I'll post that podcast episode in the WhatsApp chat. But it really changed how I thought about everything because I was someone that was like, oh my gosh, I messaged that girl, she never messaged me back. I'm so embarrassed to go to work tomorrow. And then I'd go to work. She'd be like, oh, I just didn't see your message. I'm so sorry. My daughter pooped her diaper and I had to change it. And then I had to go grocery shopping. And then I had to pick up my son at soccer practice. I totally just forgot to message you back. And I'm over here making up the most negative situation in my head. So a big part of your belief is to always have green light thoughts over the red light thoughts. And I just pray for all of us to have a sound mind when it comes to this business. We are already who God has called us to be. We don't need to give ourselves permission to become her. We just have to have belief that we are already her. All right. So thank you, girls, for joining me. Thank you, Daniela and Adriana. I'll upload this to our YouTube channel and we will see you guys tomorrow on recruitment. We're going to be in Adriana. We're going to be training on recruitment tomorrow. So we'll see you tomorrow at 1 p.m. Bye.